Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Okay, so as we start gearing up for the 2026 World Cup across North America, the whole narrative around young players is undergoing this massive shift. We aren't just looking at kids with raw pace and flashy tricks anymore. Oh no, we're looking at a totally new breed of tactically elite teenagers. I mean, these guys are already dictating play at the absolute highest levels of global football. So today, we're going to break down exactly how these young stars are defining the future of the game. So, are teenagers the smartest players on the pitch? It's a pretty provocative question, right? Historically, we've kind of always equated youth with raw, undisciplined energy. You know the drill. You bring the teenager on in the 80th minute when the game is getting chaotic, just hoping their sheer speed causes a mistake. But looking at the data heading into this World Cup, we really have to challenge that assumption. What if the 18 and 19-year-olds aren't just the fastest guys out there, but actually the smartest? Here's our tactical whiteboard for today's explainer. First, we'll hit the tactical youth revolution, then dive into Pokubersi, the deep playmaker, Endrick, the space manipulator, Estival, the explosive winger, Lamina Yamal, the inside threat, and finally, how all this is redefining the 2026 World Cup. Let's get right into it. Chapter 1, the tactical youth revolution. To really understand what's going to happen at the World Cup, we've got to recognize how the very profile of a football prodigy has fundamentally shifted. Think about the traditional wonder kid. Usually they were an agent of chaos, right? Raw pace, erratic energy. But the 2026 wonder kid is the exact opposite. They are the absolute anchor of the team. We're talking highly tactically mature, incredibly press-resistant, and honestly foundational pieces of elite systems. Not just luxury impact subs anymore. Literally 18-year-olds running the entire show. And there is absolutely no better example of this than our first case study. Section 2, Pau Cubarsí, the deep playmaker. We're heading to the defensive third to look at Spain's 19-year-old prodigy. Honestly, this kid plays with the maturity of a veteran 10 times his age. So Cubarsí isn't just your standard center back. He's a deep-line playmaker. Spain's whole philosophy of positional play literally lives or dies by its first phase of build-up. If you can't progress the ball cleanly from the back, well, the whole system collapses. Cubarsí operates from this really deep defensive position to completely dictate the tempo. He's essentially acting as a midfield orchestrator who just happens to be lined up in the defense. When you look at the numbers from the CIS Football Observatory, it proves his complete dominance across the board. He has vastly above average involvement in distribution, aerial play, and ground defense. Get this, CIS gives him a performance index of 90.2 out of 100. That is the absolute highest among all central defenders globally. He isn't just participating in the game, he is entirely dictating the metrics. And the crucial thing is how he actually pulls this off. He averages 8.2 line-breaking passes every 90 minutes. 8.2. That's the highest among any teenage center back in Europe's top 5 leagues. He has this incredible veteran-like patience. He just waits, delays releasing the ball, draws the opposing pressing lines out, and the exact second they overcommit, boom. He fires a perfectly weighted pass directly into the half spaces. It's brilliant. Moving right along to Section 3, Endrick, the space manipulator. Let's push up into the attacking third and see how this early maturity translates to offensive dominance with Brazil's 19-year-old powerhouse. For like a decade now, Brazil has been hunting for a classic, robust number 9 who can solve their massive dilemma, breaking down deep, low defensive blocks. Well, Endrick is the answer. He operates as an inside forward and space manipulator. So he plays off a withdrawn striker, hovering right on the shoulder of the last defender, just waiting to exploit the tiniest little gaps in those tightly packed central zones. I absolutely love this specific observation from the scouting reports. It says he excels at creating micro yardage in crowded penalty areas, and that hits the nail on the head. Because Endrick is built like an absolute tank, with a super low center of gravity, he doesn't need huge amounts of open space to be dangerous. He can absorb the physical impact, turn on a dime, and create just enough room, that micro yardage, to get a lethal shot off. What's truly staggering here, though, is the sheer efficiency. Endrick boasts a .19 non-penalty expected goals per shot. Basically, the mathematical probability of his open play shots actually finding the back of the net is incredibly high, putting him in the upper 96th percentile globally. This isn't a kid just blasting the ball from 30 yards out and hoping for a miracle. It shows highly disciplined, tactically elite shot selection. He maximizes his impact with minimal touches inside the box. Section 4, Estival, the explosive winger. Staying with the Brazilian attack, we're shifting out wide to another 18-year-old starlet who's already making some massive waves. Estevo is the kind of explosive winger that literally forces defenders to start desperately backpedaling before the ball even reaches his feet. He's incredibly sharp in tight spaces, completely fearless in one-on-ones. But again, notice the core theme we keep coming back to: elite tactical consistency. He doesn't just give you occasional flashy moments. He provides constant defensive disruption and reliable end product, week in and week out. Just look at the immediate impact he's had at Chelsea. In 17 appearances, he's already bagged 5 goals and an assist. But honestly, the standout metric is his 4.28 shot-creating actions per 90 minutes. That means he is directly generating over 4 high-quality scoring opportunities every single game. He isn't just surviving the heavy physicality of the Premier League, he is actively deciding matches, and it's exactly why he's a huge frontrunner for the prestigious Golden Boy Award right now. Now, for Section 5, Lamine Yamal, the inside threat. We have arrived at the absolute pinnacle of this generation. A player who is already blowing right past wonderkid status and straight into future GOAT debates. 18-year-old Lamine Yamal. To even begin to understand Yamal's staggering output, we really have to look at the system. Barcelona's manager, Hansi Flick, unlocked Yamal's full potential by shifting him from a traditional wide winger into this devastating hybrid inside threat role within a 4-2-3-1 setup. So now, Yamal has the complete tactical license to drift inside onto his left foot, swap positions with the attacking mid, and arrive late in the box as a primary goal scorer. It makes him utterly unpredictable for defenders to mark. And the numbers from this tactical tweak, simply out of this world. In his 2025-26 La Liga campaign, he delivered 17 goals and 19 assists. Across all competitions, tried 23 goals and 24 assists. He was directly involved in a goal every 77 minutes of league football, all while maintaining a lethal 58% shooting accuracy. Guys, these are numbers that surpass what even Lionel Messi or Kylian Mbappe were producing at the exact same age. It's unreal. According to the CIES Football Observatory, Yamal holds a 93.3 performance index score. Let me put that into perspective. That is the absolute highest score for all infiltrating right wingers on the entire planet. What separates him isn't just his skill on the ball, it's his veteran decision-making. Completing 84% of his passes in the opposition half, that means he doesn't just beat his man. He almost always chooses the absolute perfect final pass or shot afterward. Bringing us to our final section. Redefining the 2026 World Cup. What does all this teenage tactical mastery actually mean for the biggest stage in football? Well, the tournament kicks off in North America on June 11th, and right away on June 12th, we're going to see Spain take the field. Managers like Spain's Luis de la Fuente have already made it abundantly clear. Teenagers like Yamal and Cubarsí, they're completely undroppable. They are not going to this World Cup just to soak up the experience. No way. They are going as the primary tactical anchors and the main threats for the tournament favorites. Which really leaves us with this final thought. We are so used to World Cups being defined by veterans in their absolute prime, cementing their legacies. But given the staggering data, the crazy press resistance, the elite decision-making, and the sheer tactical mastery we've looked at today, will 2026 be remembered as the tournament where unprecedented teenage brilliance officially took over the beautiful game? I'll leave you to ponder that one. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and definitely keep your eyes on the tactics as we get closer to kickoff.